What it do?
Baby.
Babe, there
we
we go.
here.
Finish my sentence.
Lab number 3.
Lab number 3.
Checking in.
Checking in, tapping
Cooking
in,
up.
tapping in, never capping.
What we got on the list today?
That's not gonna fly. But all right. So icebreaker. Big news on the NFT front. Coinbase announced that they will support NFTs, obviously on Coinbase.com. So pretty big. Going back to our first video with the Bobby Hundreds NFTs. Shipcoin's going to release the NFTs. So I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Oh damn, that's utility from a so-called shitcoin. So
Hey.
Yeah,
I heard I think you were talking about it. They have like a lot of utility and things going on behind the scenes, kind of like Dogecoin does, that people don't really talk about. So even if it doesn't seem like it has a point right now, that people are developing it to be useful.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's gonna have to morph because there's so many people are using it, and the adoption is so big on Coinbase. I don't know. Is Shiba on Robinhood?
I'm not too sure. I know
that's how it was with Dogecoin. It was just
Right.
on Robinhood, so it just took off.
Yeah, I think I read something that Shiba was getting on Robinhood soon.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, let's start it off as a meme coin. I mean, it is still a meme coin, but you pull back the layers, and now it offers decentralized, it can be ran its own DeFi, decentralized exchange, DeFi offerings. It can run NFT or support NFTs. I was reading that they were looking at SHIB to be looked at as a meme coin because that was like the most popular thing at the time. They saw what Doge did, so they're like, hey, let's kind of ride the
that's smart marketing. Yeah.
of Doge and say we're another meme coin. And yeah, I guess you can say that, but then you start realizing, damn, they got boom, 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 like all these different offerings, more than just a little cute dog, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting how they played that. But again, the marketing tactics, we can all say, coming from Strongblock, SRX, oh, we're gonna cut it unexpectedly. It just blew up on Twitter even more. So it's like, they're kind of using reverse psychology against us, I would say. But
that's true.
It's all in the greater good. If you got your bags packed, if SHIB goes to $1, we're talking about those numbers, how much you need to retire and put that into bonds. Yeah, I'm out. I'm living life, baby.
I'll take that 2%.
I'll take that 2% on a US bond yield. Hey, super outdated, super boomerish, but hey,
dang,
you got that whale bag, it's gonna be all right. So
yeah.
Also, Robinhood was really early on Dogecoin too. As a crypto. So before it like took off last year, like before it hit like a cent and all that, it was on Robinhood pretty early with like Bitcoin and stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So they might adopt it. They might not. I was looking at a couple articles just now just to do some background search, but it looks like people are waiting for it to be on Robinhood.
Robinhood's like, oh, we saw what Doge did.
Yeah.
So it's
they're
like
trying to get their bag too.
Yeah, they're trying to get that transaction fee or whatever. So
I wonder if they get paid to get on there rather than like that would be an incentive. Like, hey, we want you guys on our platform, and then Doge or SHIB says, okay, well, we'll give you this amount. Like, we really want to be on there. We really want to be on there.
So. Right. Or on the flip side, they allocate like a grant to that company and say, hey, like almost like stocks, essentially, like a IPO. Here's X amount of SHIB. Hold on, do whatever you want with it. Hold on to it, use it as an asset, and when it when it goes to $5, there you go. There's your reward. So a lot of possibilities, but again, still early, and I got my SHIB bag packed. So again, that's for me. That's like cryptocurrency. That it's relative. I think we go back to it, but SHIB is like fantasy football to me. Sports betting, like. Put a little bit in, see what it does. If it does something cool, if not, I'm just messing around, having fun. So
yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's go and talk about the first thing today. It's, not too complicated, but definitely something new. And given this space, new things, and people don't know what new things are. It's like, It's bad, Ponzi, whatever. But we're going to talk about DAOs. DAOs are decentralized autonomous organizations. And let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Here it is. All right, so I'm gonna read it from an article, or I'm gonna skim through an article I found on Forbes on what are DAOs and why you should pay attention to them. So let me go ahead and get this up and we'll go to start. So I'll just kind of skim from here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So essentially what DAOs are, like I said, decentralized autonomous organization. And the organization is represented through code. So it eliminates any type of hierarchy, like a board of directors, CEO, that type of thing, or executive suite, C-suite, as you may call it. So they're pretty. The DAO follows the rules of the code, aka smart contracts, and so it's a way to change what the traditional system has been using, because now the bias or the favoritism or backdoor deals or whatever's going on is very, my opinion, is decreased significantly, because now it's pretty much if statements. So if this condition, then do that. If that, then do this. And then there isn't any human element that's introduced into DAOs and decision making. So yeah, so pretty much that's essentially what a DAO is. I might read a couple quotes from here just to give more context, but pretty much another thing is how can we exchange values in a trusted environment? And so, blockchains in tandem with DAOs, enabled trusted transactions and value exchanges through people throughout the world, but using the internet. So it allows them to feel safe and effective to work with like-minded folks around the globe. Definitely that trust and that validation is, and the security is, offered with the blockchain incorporated into a DAO. Obviously, there are some downfalls or some potential weaknesses, just like any other company. Like, for example, there's an equivalent to an Airbnb, but I believe in Germany. I think it says somewhere right here. Sorry, up here. Yeah, equivalent, a German startup, Stockit, which equivalent to something like Airbnb. But hackers were able to exploit the code, and they were able to take about $50 million. So the bad thing about that, you would say, well, it's a whole bunch of code that's being exploited. There aren't any individuals or humans to go to a kill switch button and turn it off to stop the bleeding. And it's like, yes, that's true, but at the same time, you still hear about incidents of Microsoft getting hacked, by China, Russia, whatever, right? That was recent through like a Microsoft Outlook, I believe. They exploited something in the HTML. That was one. And there's another, just multiple, you hear hacks going on or incidents where people are infiltrating, big systems. A week or two ago, or whatever it was, Instagram was down. Could that have been a hack? I don't know, right? Like, they're not going to come out and tell us, because if that is the case, then their stock price goes down. So one, drawback to DAO is like, well, the code can be exploited. It's like, well, that's true. Look at all these other situations. And there's people there to pull that, kill switch to stop the bleeding, but yet, it's still being exploited. So it's like, I think that the pros outweigh the cons of, having people there than not. The DAO, there won't be favoritism. There won't be, manipulation. There won't be any type of that, funny business. Just make sure you write good code, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what a DAO is. Pretty much no individuals are involved. It's all ran through smart contracts. The business is ran through code, for keep it in simple terms. And yeah, it's more efficient. It takes out the middleman because you're using a blockchain. How traditional businesses run right now, you need a third party, like middleman, to kind of validate, between point A to, let's say it's ABC. You need a point B to, be the middleman between point A and point C. With DAOs, you eliminate that middleman, a lot of fees, a lot of time, a lot of, just pushing papers type stuff, and you're able to transact immediately, quickly, efficiently, and then view that transaction on the blockchain because it's on the blockchain. But all the rules are governed by the DAO. So another benefit, quickly before I forget, is DAO is ran by the community. So if you wanted to change something in the protocol, the community can raise that as a potential. It's like voting, like hey, we want prop whatever, and the people who are part of it, the community, can vote yes or no. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So the most recent one was lowering the APY from like I think 17,000 to 7,000, just to make sure the longevity of the project is maintained. So I'm sorry, that's for OHM as a DAO, excuse me. But we'll jump into that actually coming up right now. Got a little ahead of myself, but yeah. And any comments, guys? Anything that you guys like about it or dislike?
Yeah, I'll just say it kind of just opens up the possibility of how, if you're able to write a good code, you'll be able to let that like that service run on top of itself. So it kind of takes like the human error out of things. So even if you think to, say like social media or something like that, if someone creates a DAO social media where they have the code and it's safe and secure, and they put that out there, and now users are on that, the app, and they come across a tweet or something like that, maybe on Twitter, it might get flagged. But if you're on the DAO, you could put out anything, say anything, and if it falls within the guidelines that's already put into the code, you're good to go. So you don't have to worry about getting censored or banned or taken off or things like that. Just a different example of the DAO.
And so we see a couple right here, like social media, DJs, Steve Aoki and Blau. So, yeah, it's still new, it's still young, developing, but as you can see, popular names are adopting it, and slowly but surely, it'll become a thing it'll be commonplace. And yeah, it's very interesting with the whole NFT and then using DAOs. So we'll see how that turns out. We might have to we might have to make our video with the NFTs and the hundreds. It might be a reoccurring thing because it seems like NFTs are popping up more and more. But yeah, so that's what a DAO is. So it's a good transition. I did a little write-up. I'll go ahead and transition now to OHM. So OHM is Olympus DAO. OHM. There we go. You guys can still see my screen, yeah? Want to make sure. Okay, cool. Got it. So Olympus DAO, obviously it's a DAO. So no one really runs it. It's a protocol run by code, just a refresher. And decentralized, see right here, community-owned, decentralized financial infrastructure to bring more stability and transparency to the world. So let's just go with, how it works. Let's see. So pretty much, here we go. It works. I need to open my eyes. So pretty much you can either, you can provide liquidity to the DAO through, right now, the most popular is DAI, which is a stable coin. And so you provide that liquidity to the DAO, and in exchange, you get a OHM token representing, the value of what you put in. But the interesting thing about that is what the DAO or what OHM looks to eliminate, or just DAOs in general, are that most individuals who put their liquidity into liquidity pools, within like, I think 24 hours, like 32% have removed their liquidity out. And then within 48 hours, another 16%. So that's like roughly half the people who within 2 days, pretty much, let me just put all my bags in, double, triple my money, whatever, take it out. And at that point, it causes a lot of liquidity issues, because now the pool is like, okay, we have this much, and all of a sudden everyone's taking it out at one point, at one time. Now, the liquidity pool can fail, or there's not enough liquidity to pull out for people who just want to do a little bit at a time. So what Olympus DAO does is pretty much gives you a bond. So saying that, hey, you'll put, just say $1,000 in DAI in, you'll get the OHM token, the government's token, in exchange, within 5 days. So it prevents you from just going in and then taking your money out. So it makes it so it eliminates liquidity pool or liquidity issues in the liquidity pool when people want to take it all at once. So it definitely eliminates that. And then once you get the OHM token as a representation, you can now stake it and then earn interest. And their current interest right now, like I mentioned before, is about 7,000. So like if you had like just say 0.5 tokens, like to say 2 months ago, you would roughly, you'd definitely make a lot of money. I think it's roughly like you double, quadruple. I need to run the calculations, but you're definitely up right now because the price of OHM has gone up, and plus your coin is compounding interest. So yeah, OHM right here compounds automatically through a treasury-backed currency with intrinsic value. So here it is, about 7,000%. And one interesting thing about OHM is their ability to is the ability to make the coin grow, and also to make sure the coin stays level. So the OHM token that you get when you put money in is a representation of all the assets that are currently in the liquidity pool. So this, so pretty much it's a representation of that, and how much liquidity is in the pool is reflected in that coin. So right now it's like about $1,000, whereas like maybe 2 or 3 months ago it was at $200. So as you can see, more people are putting liquidity in and they're getting the token back. That token's increasing in price because there's more, backed assets in the Olympus DAO. So to prevent like the coin from like being too volatile, they have like another mechanism. Let me see if I can find it. But they have let me just kind of browse around, but I'll explain it as I go. They have a mechanism where they burn tokens, or they actually mint new tokens and distribute them out to help with the supply. So let me see if I can find it here. There's a video, but it's on YouTube, and I don't want this to get flagged if I post it. So I can't find it. What I'll do is I'll explain it. So what happens is if they want to keep a floating market value of the coin, and that floating market value represents how much the value of the assets in the Olympus DAO, in the liquidity pool itself of Olympus DAO. If the price starts going up too high, then they'll say, hey, the price is for whatever reason there's buying pressure and the price starts going up. We'll go ahead and actually buy the coins, and then we'll burn them. We'll buy the coins and we'll mint them, excuse me. So now the supply of OHM on the market is greater. So therefore it's just a simple supply and demand. More supply, just probably like less demand, or it'll just even out. It'll just stabilize the price, and it'll kind of curtail not too much of a drastic volatile spike upwards. Now the reverse, just say if the reverse happens, if the coin sees a dramatic decrease and people are pissed off, or like, oh, the price is going down, what's going on? What they'll do is they'll buy the tokens that are available on the market. They'll put them back into their in their possession, and they'll burn it. So now the tokens, there's a limited amount of tokens. So then again, supply and demand. If it's limited, it's more scarce, the value goes up. So they pretty much do this up and down thing within a range, right? Within a reasonable range. They don't release any of the information, or not that I've seen, because if you can do that, then you can kind of game the system. So they kind of keep that to themselves, or it's on the low. Maybe some algorithm determines that, but that's how they're able to control the price. Now you're asking, well, it keeps going up. So what does that mean? It just means more people are putting their money into this long-term project, because remember, the OHM token is a reflection of the backed assets in the DAO. Using the stablecoin DAI, and just fresh off the press today, there might be a partnership with Bitcoin. So now you can put Bitcoin into the or use how do I say this? Use Bitcoin to start the whole process with OHM and getting an OHM token. So yeah, that's a little rundown of OHM. Definitely something different. You might need to watch this another time, run this back again, or just watch a video on YouTube. But we just wanted to share this with you guys and just give a overview of it. So
Ronnie, I think if you hit the bond or stake, it'll take you to how much the Olympus DAO has in its treasury and its assets.
Okay, thank you, Hugh.
So the dashboard right there.
All right, so there you go. So pretty much this number here, OHM, for one, a token is representative of this number right here. Thank you, Hugh. I appreciate that. That really puts visuals to it instead of me just talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if this number goes down, then this number is probably going to go down. And at that point, they'll say, oh, the price is going down. Let's burn the token so there's less tokens out. And then this token, I don't know if it's going to go back to exactly this number, but it's going to, let's say if it dropped to 500, it's going to probably bounce back up to 700, 800, just purely off of the supply and demand of the token. So, but yeah. And then there's also these type of, these are, Jesse, you're familiar with it. These are the type of like how aggressive you are, right? Like 3-3 and that type of thing.
What's that? The game theory?
Yeah, the game theory. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Go to that box. Oh no, I haven't done the.
Okay.
What's that pool? Oh, I thought you were talking about the square, like the funded square.
Okay, sorry. Let me go back.
Yeah, sorry. I think the square was in like the white paper earlier.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to talk about that? The game theory behind it?
I see. I understand game theory. I just don't. I guess I can read from here. I'm just not familiar. This is a project that I heard about. I just never got into. I was focusing on other things, but I definitely want to get into it. But I cannot explain the game theory component of this. So
scroll down a little bit. Just go to you went past it. Just where that square is, with the red,
with the green boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the game theory. Just to kind of break it down, what I learned was if there was two people that went to jail and they were separated in different rooms, the policeman would say to suspect number one, hey, the guy in the other room, suspect number two, he's going to tell on you. But if you tell me what happened before he says anything, we'll give you less time. And then the suspect number two with the other policeman, they're saying the same thing. So from this square right here, the best outcome, which is highlighted in the greenest of green, is if both users stake the OHM. And then the next outcome would be if someone stakes it and another person bonds it. And then another outcome would be if someone stakes it, someone sells it. So you go down all those different scenarios, and that just is the greenest of the green is the 3-3. So that would be like the ultimate is what's happening right now, which is why the price is appreciating, because more people are staking it. But maybe before, like a couple of months ago, where it fluctuated up around 400, it dropped down into the 200s because people were maybe bonding it, and then they were selling it. And then other people sell, which is -3, which brought the price down. So it's kind of interesting. It takes a while to understand it. But yeah, the game theory is also good to apply just to real life scenarios too, outside of just Olympus DAO. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It's kind of like have you guys seen that movie Four Brothers?
Yeah.
With like Tyrese and then the white dude
from
the family.
Yeah. With the pump shotty, remember that? That was
Anyway. It's kind of like that. Like they all got arrested and they all went in and they got questioned by the police. They all said, who did what? And they said, forget you, but some more stronger words than that.
Yeah.
And they all held to their guns. So basically they're all staking and no one sold each other out. So they didn't sell. So they all stuck to their guns and we stayed in the green 3x3s instead of selling each other out and going negatives 3x3s.
I'll say, guys, for the game theory, I had no clue, but Jesse, that was a great explanation. And Hugh, you just you not
1, 2, 3.
Like it sealed it because I saw that movie and I understand. So
yeah,
that you gave like the perfect example for like the best scenario in the game theory. So yep, everyone that's Olympus DAO, definitely different. Again, you might have to understand game theory, what's the best scenario, this and that, how will that affect price, take that in consideration. But definitely if you have money and I think Jesse said this is long term, definitely check it out. The price within 2 months went from like, let's say 3 months. I'm being generous, but let's say 3 months, a quarter. 260, and now it's what we saw it at this page at 1,300. So if you bought, to say 5 coins, you're already up on your coins with the price appreciation, and also factor in, or we're not factoring in it was higher, but at least 7,000 APY compounding. So it's like, you can run a calculation on that, find that calculator out online, but definitely you've made money if you did that. So I haven't, I just watched it, but maybe it's never too late. So yeah, that's Olympus DAO. And
if you want to, like you said, there's some good videos. Showtime 2K has a good tutorial on Olympus DAO. Steven, the calculator guy on YouTube, has a calculator video about OHM. But essentially you can get DAI from, or what I did, I got DAI from Coinbase, sent Coinbase to my MetaMask, and then I linked my MetaMask to SushiSwap, which I was able to get Olympus. And then from there, I went on to Olympus, the staking, which I think you're on that same website. It's the same thing where you stake, and then you just have to approve it, and then you stake it. And it wasn't too bad. It just got to watch out for those gas fees. So, because there's a few transactions you got to go through to get to the end game. But yeah, it all comes with the territory. You got to pay to play.
Exactly. And then next, it's time. Hugh, did you have that page up? Did you want to just quickly go over that on a high level?
Yeah, we got like 9 minutes on this. Do you think that's enough time?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Let's go over it. While you have it, while you're sharing your screen, I can just transition to it. So time is actually a fork of OHM. So I guess
can you make me a
host? Okay.
Yeah,
sorry. So while I do that, make host. So it's a fork of OHM. So the same rules apply with time, but it's it's a little different, and Hugh will go over that. But another interesting product or project in the DeFi space.
Yep. So cool. So this is time. Essentially, this is a fork off of Olympus DAO. Kind of the same concept here. They're on a DAO, and this is essentially a high yield staking project to get into. People are interested in that type of thing, like Olympus DAO. Time is a fork off that, so it's very similar. Not financial advice.
Financial opinion.
Financial opinion. This is edutainment. Education. But yeah, currently what's intriguing about the project of time and why people are kind of looking into it is because the current APY is at 50,000 yearly, and the total volume of the exchange is about $572 million. So it has a decent amount in there, slowly growing on its market cap. You can see on like coin market cap as well. Time Wonderland. Let's see what the rank is. Currently at $7,600. We zoom out for the year, you kind of see like the growth over time. Went up, was at about 12K at one point. It's probably a small moment, but it was at around like 6,700 before, came down, and slowly growing back up. And then where do you see the ranking?
It's normally at the top.
Usually at the top, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. And then
I definitely like the interface.
Yeah, it looks
that one
nice.
there's like a lot of like buttons to click around. This is like you land in one spot. What do you want to click on? Like, dashboard.
Mm-hmm. And then yeah, there's several different ways you can kind of mint time. If you buy it through these things, then you'll get a slight discount. If you're paying through like the MIM LP Time Avalanche. Oh yeah, Time is also ran on the Avalanche AVAX blockchain. Mm-hmm. So if you're planning on going through this, you're going to get cheaper fees because it's not based on the Ethereum blockchain. AVAX has cheaper fees, so the fees are kind of things slowing you down to kind of get your feet in the game. This is kind of has a lower barrier to entry with lower fees through the AVAX network.
That's a good point, definitely. And those fees will get you like, man, but it's just, they add up.
Yeah.
But,
It's 2,712 rank CoinMarketCap.
Okay. Yeah. So it's still relatively a young coin. I think it has been out this is a year out. So I think it started in around September. So it's only been out for about a month now. So yeah, still really early. Even though it might look high, it's all relative. Depending on when you get in, it depends where it goes. It could always go down, can go up. It's up to your opinion on what you want to do. But yeah, high level overview, like we already said, it's the Wonderland is the first decentralized reserve currency protocol on Avalanche. So OHM was on Ethereum, so this is the Avalanche version of OHM in a sense. And it's backed by several assets such as MIM, Time, AVAX, LP, and everything else that was in the dashboard earlier. And yeah, so like we said, it's a fork of the Olympus on the Avalanche network. Team is also anonymous because it's part of the DeFi community, where everything's decentralized and more autonomous.
Nice.
Similar with the 3x3, it's kind of based on the game theory. Instead of 3x3s, if you notice with Time, you'll see a lot of these hats. So if you're curious on why you're seeing these hats on Twitter, or just hats with commas next to them, it's kind of the game theory, but with the Time version of it. And yeah,
it's supposed to be like a Wonderland thing, right? Like the wizard or something.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff like there's like abracadabra, there's like the hats, so it's kind of like the hats. I guess, is it like a Wonderland, like what's it called? Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, what's that guy? I can't remember, like Johnny Depp, right?
The Mad Hatter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there's a lot of these stuff are based on kind of quirky things. So this abracadabra is like the lending version of it. It's at Wonderland, and then I think the MIM is an acronym for something that I forget. But yeah, you can stake, you can mine, and then yeah, I think with this, once you start staking, you're gonna get paid out in MIMs, I think, which is equal to Time. Why they pay out in MIM is just because it's like a minted version of it, but once you want to cash out, it'll convert back to Time. The MIM is just to kind of showcase what you've gained in interest during the time that you've been staking within Time.
Cool.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just high level overview. If you guys interested in checking it out, just go to the website, Wonderland Money, and yeah, take a look into it.
All right, cool. Thanks. That's really, I mean, I feel like I learned more, just more comfortable with like terms and what's going on, just through like me going through a DAO, OHM, and then you sealing it up with Time. Kind of ties everything together. So
you wanna hit that pass it off one more time, fastest 2 minutes. Pass that to me, Hugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go.
It's not popping up.
Yeah. As a host.
Why am I not in the meeting? Oh, stop share. And then where'd I go?
If you go to more, or you have to make me, you're a host, so then you can just go to Jesse's name, hit
on
more.
The top, on my little box at the top of the meeting.
Go more, and then
okay. Like host, gotcha.
I am host now. Okay.
You have about 1:45. So.
Dun 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 dun.
Boom. Can you see my screen?
Dun, dun, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. Another APY to watch out for. This one is KLIMA DAO. Supposedly coming out on October 18th, which is a Monday. And let's see what we got. So for this one, it's going to be run on Polygon, which is interesting. So less fees. And there's already some videos out about it. I got a document set up from Steven, a calculator guy. But essentially, you could get Polygon on MetaMask, and you could get Ethereum or Polygon on MetaMask. You're gonna have to swap it to your Polygon wallet. Then you'll go to SushiSwap, swap Polygon for KLIMA. Then you come to the KLIMA DAO Finance to stake. And right now, the expected rate is around like 30,000 APY. It could be somewhere around there, but yeah, we're gonna have our eyes on this one, and we'll see where this takes us. And that wraps it up for DAIs and DAOs.
DAIs and DAOs, or girls and guys, whatever. But I think that real quick before it cuts off, KLIMA or whatever, KLIMA, it's a relatively cheap compared to the other two. So you can have that, convert Ethereum or Polygon into KLIMA or whatever, and then have a greater token amount while still getting a decent APY. So
you could just cut off of what you were saying.
Okay. So okay,
yeah, I think like the entry price too for KLIMA, I think I was looking online, it's gonna start out around like 350.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, but like they said, watch out, because I think some people got in like on a pre-sale.
Yeah.
And they got in around like $10. So either they're gonna hold the line, hold the fort,
right,
or they might just try to cash out the bag real quick. So it could be a dip at the beginning, or there could be a lot of traction on it, and people might be buying.
So that's the thing about these DAOs right now. Where do you think all this hype is coming from, or is it because like Twitter, or do you think there's just more technology behind them, that they're better servicing networks now, or what do you think?
It's a good question. I feel like, I guess a DAO in this sense is kind of, it's still in essence a form of a liquidity pool, and liquidity pools kind of give you a form of passive income. Like, okay, you invest this amount, whether it be like cake, whether it be like things on Ethereum. Staking is like a form of passive income. So what the DAO is just kind of like injecting that with a lot more juice with it, like kind of passive income on steroids. And it's kind of becoming like the wave, kind of like things like an NFT, things like a node. Just people trying to get in it, kind of one, hype, and then two, that it might have like a good practical use with it. If it's providing like a lot of liquidity and just a form of investment for people. I think it's relatively easy to digest, like to start staking, depending on the coin. It's only a few steps to get into it. And then you kind of just let the money ride from there. And also you're gaining coins with that over time. So even if that interest rate goes down, and even if the price of the coin tanks, if you get enough coins back, even say it went to 350 to 10, with the percentage that they're paying you, you'll probably get X amount of coins back, and then it'll be even if the price is down.
Yeah, so there's a lot of traction going on. I think it's a good time to get in if the APY is high and you get in early. It's a good project. So,
and I'll say it once, I'll say it again, I'll say it till the cows come home. You put that money in the bank, and they're, oh, congratulations, 0.02%. It's like, bro, like,
who added?
What am I about to do with that?
Who added 72 cents to my bank account? Wow, that's so kind of them.
Like, you can't. Man, price went up at the dollar store. It's a $1.50 store. Like, what am I gonna buy? Like, I have to wait like 2 months just to buy one thing at the dollar store.
Dang.
Oh man,
times are changing. That's what they try to teach you back in the day. You go work your 9-to-5 job, and you put your money in your savings account, and you retire when you're 65.
Your 401k, and then you're a millionaire when you're 65. But it's like, bro, I'm trying to be a millionaire when I'm like,
when my legs still work, I can still walk around and stuff.
And like, I don't know, millionaire, I'd be like, oh, that's a lot. Like, you not flexing, but like, I think I saw a stat where it's like, all the millionaires now are like either high millionaires or billionaires, and all the billionaires now are trillionaires. Like, a millionaire, okay, it's gonna sound
it doesn't translate.
It's gonna sound kind of like, I'll say it, whatever. You hate me, cool.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
Billionaires are millionaires now aren't really like what they used to be like maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago. Like, a lot of people are millionaires. What I'm trying to say is, though, it's more achievable. Like, there's a lot of ways to do it. So you can look at it like, oh, that's kind of elitist. There might be some people who, I'm gonna say with my chest right now, but it's like, might feel a certain way by talking about money. Like, millionaire is not a lot of money, but like, you just look at how many millionaires and billionaires, like, everyone's trying to move up. Like, and it's achievable. I feel like, I don't know. That's just from what we see. Again, things like this. And another thing too, real quick. Mark Cuban's actually in OHM. He's like he's dibble dabbling in the DeFi. So there's definitely people of significant entrepreneurs, whatever, that are doing it. So they're just looking to grow any way possible. But
true.
This could be one of them. If someone's looking at that, has the bag, you want to, again, not financial advice. There's always a risk, but.
Yep, exactly. Not financial advice, just financial opinion. But yeah, it's kind of just like you said, on the millionaire thing. Like back then, like 20 years ago, like $1 million, yeah, you can buy a house with like 200 to 400K, have a nice little house, have a little retirement fund, cost of goods and eating out, spend $5-10. You got a family, spend like $40. But nowadays, inflation, everything, pricing go up. That's it. It is what it is. It's a circle of life. So looking at not to kind of no one nerf me or whatever, no DDoS me, but Bay Area. You see San Francisco in the background with Ronnie, like
I put that. Hey, you see Jesse's flag? You see that? I'm just going with where I'm at, So
if you're trying to get a house in San Francisco with $1 million, you probably be kind of out of luck. You can buy a lot.
That's Section 8 out there.
No, yeah, you buy a lot with no house built on it yet. So yeah, everything's kind of relative with the times, and not to make it feel like it's a small amount. We all been in those days with hot sauce in the top ramen. And
hey, yo, bitch.
But
shout out Kendrick.
You gotta open up the mindset and kind of expand and don't cap yourself. Don't give yourself.
That's true.
Don't cap yourself. There's enough capping going on. Just don't cap yourself.
Dang.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave us with that comment, and we'll go to the next one. All right. There's enough capping going on. Don't cap yourself. All right.
What we got next?
Let's go Bobcat.
Okay. Talking about animals now. It's a nature program.
All right, let me share my screen because I got the little joint right here. Helium. Nope. Yep. All right. Where's the zoom at? I got the zoom on the same tab as my other ones. I need two different screens.
Just go take your time, King.
And then we're recording, share screen, number 2. All right. So next topic, another form of passive income are helium miners. Or I'm sorry, Bobcat, but they mine helium. So this is another form of, providing to a network, but in this case, it's helium. And what helium is, let's see.
Proof of coverage.
Proof of coverage. Who uses helium? So I don't really see it here, but I know what it is. Helium is essentially you can pretty much you provide a network, a decentralized network for people to use the internet on. And essentially your miner is like a hotspot, and it contributes to the network. And how it contributes is it needs another helium within like a certain, let's say like I think it's like a 1 to 2 mile radius, I believe. I forget the exact parameters, but it's relatively close. And what happens is miners ping off each other. And when miners ping off each other, they communicate and saying, hey, I validate this miner down the street. And then the miner down the street validates me, and then and while we provide that that network that people can tap into, you get rewarded. Your helium miner, so that's where the miner comes in. Once it provides that network, it mines crypto, it mines helium, the helium token for you, and so you can pretty much just turn it on. It uses like 5 like a very low setting of electricity to run. And you're able to use, or provide internet. So let me see. So here's this, how like a whole bunch of stats, but let me see if I can, let me just see like the mining process. So you can pretty much mine with the radio, because I believe it runs off a very low frequency. So pretty much what it does is other blockchains like Ethereum, let's say run now proof of stake, Bitcoin, proof of work. For Helium, it's a model they call proof of coverage. And so pretty much if you're providing that coverage of the network, then it means you're contributing, and the hotspot only uses 5 watts of energy. In exchange, you'll get the coin, like I said. So let's just take a look at this. You might be able to see a couple hotspots in the local area. Oh, okay, so look at, there's 233,000 already. Market price is 19. Let's go and take a look. Oh wow, there's a lot in
the highly concentrated cities.
Yo, remember we saw this map like a couple months ago?
This was in May.
I would just say this, it wasn't as colorful as it was now.
I think it was 70. There were 70,000 hotspots in May, and the price was around like $12 or $11.
I mean, fuck, dude.
Yeah. So sorry, dumb question. So this is for internet Wi-Fi. Yeah. So anyone can connect to these networks? Like, how do they connect to this network?
Well, for this Helium network right now, it's running strictly on the Internet of Things. So say like that sensor, that turns on your sprinkler or something like that. It's connecting off that, connecting to a satellite, connecting back to your phone, telling you, oh, it didn't rain last night. The sprinkler's turning on. So the Internet of Things are just like small devices, like even like in your house, you got your thermometer, your Nest thermostat, like little things like that is what they start out building on. And they also have a plan to go 5G, which I assume is going to be like a competitor to Verizon, AT&T, if it gets to that point where they're big enough and they have that scalability option. But I think at the point where they are right now is just Internet of Things, and they're not, they don't have a strong enough network yet to provide that coverage for like you're thinking about like cellular devices.
Gotcha.
Right. So this map has definitely changed. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's that, hexagon? 6 sides? I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, hexagon. All right.
Yeah.
So they changed it where they put it into different districts or like regions, because before this it was just an open map. Now they have like hexagons like containing, I don't know what this distance is. Maybe what a rough estimate: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, give or take 7 or 8 blocks. So it looks like they're really centralizing, or not central. I don't want to use that word because we're talking about decentralization, but they're, confining areas, in a given area. I don't know what, within a 7-block radius. That's what I meant to say. And seeing how many miners are in that, radius. I was over here while Jesse was doing a good job explaining, the good use cases of it. I clicked on this expert pistachio trout, and I think if I remember correctly, they assign you this name. So if you see like some weird names, it's pretty much auto-generated. But again, like I said, let's see, activity or witnesses. Sorry, there was something about witnesses like in this panel, but let's just get down to what we're here for. The earnings in a day, 0.04. So you're earning about like, a little bit, almost $1. In 7 days, he's earned, in a week, you're earning $14, and then 30 days, he's earning $82. Now, the more concentrated area of miners that are in a given larger geographical area, the less tokens out, or the less your rewards will be, because it has to distribute through a whole bunch of other miners. But this is like over here, this was in San Leandro, so maybe a little bit more urban area. So let's take I won't use an exact location. I'm not trying to out myself like that. So let's go down here. Well, we're in the Bay Area, so I feel like a lot of people are on this. So let's just see.
What city you going to? San Jose or something?
Oh yeah, that's San Jose where all the tech is at.
All right, let's go here. Boom. Like what?
Oh yeah, Morgan Hill, a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Not too far though.
So that's like a less dense city, and you see that there's less miners in that area. So if you're in that area with a Bobcat miner or whatever miner, there's other options besides Bobcat, but we're just using Bobcat because that's what we have. that would mean the less miners in your area, the higher rewards that you would get.
Right.
But,
ideally, so
yeah.
there's like I look at this as a bell-shaped curve in terms of maximizing your rewards. Like you can't have only a few, like in this situation is only a few, but at the same time you can't have a lot.
Yeah.
Like you need like a decent amount. So that's like the only drawback to this. Like when I heard about this at the time, I just kind of went with it. Like, okay, if I can provide internet, I was looking at it more for like, if I were to start gaming, like, all right, you guys hop on this internet, let me use this internet so I can get more packets and, better FPS or whatever. I was just thinking that, but now that it looks like the ecosystem has, is being developed quite well. This is like in the Santa Cruz area. It looks like, a lot of people are using it and, oh, sorry, I got to click. And it's getting popular. So I'm trying to find an example of, so look at 0.26, like, I think this is like a good example of like being connected to a decent amount, but not too many. Let's see what the 30-day is. See, okay, so the one in San Leandro, if you remember, was like 84. This is double that in the same 30-day period.
Yeah. And that's because there's all those different witnesses around.
Right.
That provides a proof of coverage, because basically it's pinging off each other hotspot. And then it just is like a chain. It goes to next, goes to next. And because he's kind of, or he or she is in that center of that map, they have a wider, I guess, what's that word, breadth?
Breadth or radius.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. So it's like you need to be in like a populated enough city to have a reward pool. But if too many people are doing that within that same city, that reward pool is going to be divvied up to a lot more people at the same time.
So that's why there's a high concentration, like in San Francisco, New York, the bigger cities, because of course you have more tech people there, so they're more privy to that information, and they're going to, maybe buy one or two, or they're earlier to the drops. But at the same time, it's more concentrated because those metropolitan cities, people live closer together. So
it looks like the two primary ways are proof of coverage is one way to earn, and then relaying information just from one, like you're saying, from device. Because let's say if your sprinkler system is connected, then your sprinkler system has to go from the sprinkler system, let's say, to the Helium network, then back to, the water, whatever, I don't know, the water supply of your house or the water system or something like that, right? So that's one way. Proof is relaying information. Another way is proof of coverage, and there's actually challenges. So pretty much, from what I believe, these challenges are another way to earn Helium. So again, it's like that sweet spot. The more other Helium miners out there, so you on one hand, okay, wow, great, there's more challenges for me to scoop up. But at the same time, if there's other people trying to compete for those challenges to earn, it's I think the reward system scales itself up in either direction. Like if it's not enough, you're not going to get enough challenges, but if there's too many, then you're competing with other people. So it's kind of like almost like a one-to-one, I would say. But there definitely is a sweet spot. So yeah, that's pretty much the reward system for proof of coverage. There's a challenger, a transmitter, and a witness. And so pretty much the witnesses report the existence of a challenge packet after it's been transmitted. So pretty much, I guess, like a validator. It just says, yep, this person did what it did. And they're able to be eligible for their reward in Helium. And then a transmitter, sometimes called the challengee. This hotspot is the target of the proof of coverage challenge and responsible for transmitting or beaconing the challenge packets to potentially be witnessed by geographically proximate hotspots. And then the challenger itself is the hotspot that constructs and issues the proof of coverage challenge. And it does issues a challenge once every 240 blocks. So as you can see, there's multiple components that are needed within this ecosystem. Now, taking a look back at this map, I was like, oh, there's 2 in this area, there's 3 in this area. I think that corresponds to, that corresponds to those numbers that we were seeing right here. 1's a challenger, 2's a transmitter, and 3's a witness. So it looks like this is like a 3, like a witness, and this is a challenger. That's how I'm interpreting it. But, and then, I'm sorry, a challengee, I believe, or a transmitter, and then I'm sorry.
Sure. There's
the witness
5s and 6s too, but
yeah, I don't.
Oh, really? Okay, never mind. I take that back.
maybe
I was right.
Maybe it's the amount of hotspots.
Yeah,
it's the amount of hotspots.
Yeah, I was right initially. Okay.
Yeah, 6. There's 6 on the left, right? Yeah, hotspots and hex. Yeah.
Yeah, good catch. So let's see in 6 in this district. Let's just take a look at what let's go 30 day. Interesting. 307.
Is it 307 from like the previous month or like? Because it's 15 and 307. Or what's the 15.16?
The 15. 15.6 is the number of Helium tokens.
Okay, got you.
Right. So it looks like whatever's going on in this area, they can again. I think Helium is trying to set up like, kind of not silo, but say, hey, if your area has a lot of transactions or connections to the Helium network in your area, it can be pretty profitable. So I think that's how they incentivize people to use the network, because if you take a look at here versus maybe he's got $300 in this one miner in a month. Let's take a look over here to Jolly Berry Tadpole. Let's take a look 3-month period. Only 166, right? So I think there's a little bit more research that I feel like, or we can understand why this is so flexible, even though they're like not too far apart within the same city. Again, it could be local amongst, hey, these guys know what they're doing, they're moving a lot of data or just doing whatever. Maybe they're gaming, I don't know, right? There's a lot of packets, but definitely something to check out and see how that.
You want to check the area by the college, see if like a group of people might make it a little bit more.
Do you know where that's at? Oh, here.
It's right there on the left. It looks pretty empty, so maybe.
Hey, if I was UC Santa Cruz, I would start my own little system right here, right? Get a couple joints, like think about student housing, whatever, right?
That leads to the article the other day we saw on Twitter about San Jose became the first city to join the ecosystem. They said that they're going to use Helium's blockchain-based incentive model to increase internet access.
Real quick, do you have it up? I can just go ahead and share you this. Send over.
No, I just was reading it off my phone.
Okay.
But just like how you said, it's for that college to implement that in. That's what San Jose did. So they had a certain amount of miners. They put them in a certain amount of households, and then they're rewarding people for having that in, and they're just building out that proof of coverage. So kind of interesting article. And San Jose being Silicon Valley,
right?
That's where it starts. So.
And another thing I found on Twitter was this guy grew watermelons with the Helium network enabled tracking. So it looks like there is some type of feature where you can track things on there. That's another thing where I have to do some research on, because that's pretty powerful, right?
Yeah.
You can create e-commerce apps or your own e-commerce store and pretty much take out UPS, USPS maybe, or UPS or FedEx, DHL, whatever, and say, oh, here's my own tracking label, use the Helium network to track it. And you'll just pay like regular, you'll just pay like this, you'll do it through like the post office, let's say, without having to pay tracking. Maybe you can generate your own, I don't know, but it just gives you another alternative, another option. But yeah, it looks like they made watermelons and they were able to track it to their customers. So that's pretty cool. And this guy has a lot of information on what they did. It's pretty technical, I would say. He mentioned some stuff about like this certain software.
It's pretty crazy. It's funny. I was watching like a video the other day. It was like Japanese people making or growing watermelon. And these watermelons were like 10 grand. Or like whatever.
Were they sweet?
Yeah. So basically, like instead of growing like 10 watermelons, they have one vine to grow like one watermelon. So if like 10 things bud, then they clip the other ones and just all the juices would just go to one watermelon. So so then there's like
juicy boys.
So they do that with a lot of things, but if it's that important, it's like $10,000-$20,000 for one watermelon.
Right.
Probably is a good way to track it and kind of get the validation of where it came from.
Those Japanese people need to hop on this Helium network. It's a proven concept. It appears like. So, yeah, that's Helium. Again, I heard it's pretty easy. You just like plug it in, it sets itself up. You might have to make a Helium wallet, or have an endpoint to receive your Helium, but
it's an app that you could download that you can monitor what you're receiving and how your status is. And then from there, I know it's on Binance, Helium, and also on crypto.com. So if you need to send it out, you can send it to those two exchanges. But for me, I picked the Bobcat miner because it was accessible. You pay it was a USDC.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes a little while to get out to you, but hopefully we get ours pretty soon. But for the Internet of Things, I just think it's going to keep on growing, because you think of your house, just a century ago or however long it was, it just started the introduction of like alarms and getting integrated to your phone, and then now you can control your temperature and all these smart devices. Basically, you're going to run your whole house on the Internet of Things. So think about that. And then I think even Lime, those scooters, those are Internet of Things as well. So when you go to the city and you're going to hop on your Lime scooter, that has to connect to the satellite and then connect to the database just for you to log in. So that's just another example of what I was thinking about when I purchased the Bobcat miner, that I guess that sector of the market, Internet of Things, is just going to keep on growing. So just want to share that.
Definitely. Yeah, this is interesting, because look at this area. Only in a month, $24, and then we went down to Santa Cruz, and it was like, this is like
300.
Yeah. So let's try this real quick. 8. If we're gonna go with that theory of 6 equals more money, let's see. Not look at, they can already extrapolate that out of a day. Only made $2.
Dang. So that's just because it's too concentrated.
That, or also he only has. So you know what? Another thing we're not considering,
the uptime.
The uptime, and like these witnesses here. Like it depends. Like what if the ones in Santa Cruz are sending like a lot of data, and these were just like little things, like a text message or something really trivial, right?
Yeah, maybe this is like a neighborhood versus like that.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
Santa
there's
Cruz.
more.
Maybe it's like downtown Santa Cruz because by the beach.
Yeah.
Or it's a boardwalk right there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and plus too, you could add a
plug.
You could add antennas. So if you want to check out Reddit for Helium, there's different people that'll go to Home Depot and buy a huge extension pole, and then you could buy an adapter. I think somewhere online, maybe eBay or different places, just a regular Amazon, an adapter for the antenna, and they throw their 40-foot pole extension up on their house with that antenna, and that's able to ping off further locations, and then receiving more Helium.
I think there might be some opportunity, if we approach certain things, certain individual or businesses, and say, hey, you have a prime location, I'm willing to go.
Yeah, well, that's what San Jose is doing.
Yeah.
So
if anyone wants to, that can be a game if you guys want to play that, but you need it, at least a couple of these. But
hey, Christmas coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you give your auntie a Bobcat, just tell her, hey, this is gonna make your Wi-Fi faster.
In reality, you're just using it for.
You're stacking your HNTs.
She's not getting no cut. Coming up off your auntie.
Living in the house rent free.
Yeah, I know, right? You're paying for your rent to her. Damn.
Oh.
Anyways, but yeah, we can keep going with all these little random scenarios. But yeah, that's HNT. Again, these are just more high level, more of like presenting high level things, just to understand the concept. As you can tell, it gets very intricate and complex, with different numbering and reward output. So just like he was saying, just to get the wheels turning, get the thoughts to think about what's coming up in the future. One thing I forgot about DAO I want to bring up, we can just clip this back into it.
Yeah, cool.
Technically, if you've seen Terminator, isn't technically Skynet a DAO with artificial intelligence and machine learning, possibly.
I haven't seen Terminator, but who built?
You haven't seen any of the Terminators?
Who? I'm not gonna make it, huh? Who built Skynet?
I believe it was. You know what? Let's go right here. I want to say it's the people. Or Skynet is Terminator, actually. But so okay, so it's a fictional artificial neural network. Obviously, it had to have been coded at one point. So yeah, a human.
Neural? You mean like in your head?
So that's what the thing is. Like they're creating artificial neural networks.
Let's create an ANN.
So they're pretty much creating how people would think. That they're attempting to.
That's what's next.
Kind of on a side topic, the things that they're struggling with is like humor, sarcasm, that type of thing. But simple things like commands, they're pretty. It's out there. They can communicate. But yeah, I was just thinking about like Skynet, like a system, like just like it's in a building. It's a whole bunch of computers. Like if you've seen the movie, it's like it's a whole bunch of like it's Skynet. It's a building essentially, and like you have to turn off the server, and you have to like.
It's just functioning on its own.
Yeah, but so it's functioning on its own, but it's taking human qualities because again, it's machine learning. It's learning human interaction. So by the time it's in its final form, it's like acting like us.
So that's if a DAO creates a new protocol on its own, that's going to be artificial neural network.
Yeah,
an ANN.
Technically, yeah. It depends though. Like this DAO is like financial. Remember how I said financial? You can put anything. It doesn't have to be financial. It can be, I don't know, a business. Yeah, a business. It can be as a DAO, a corporation, or like I don't know, a religion can be like a DAO, I guess. In a sense, like here are the rules. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be accepted, or you're not. If you don't follow them, then you're not. If you do, you will. And then.
Do you think the Neuralink that Musk is working on could be something like artificial neural network?
Oh yeah. I think that's a step in the right way because like I think what he's saying is like you'll just have a chip, you upload it to the internet, upload the data you need, put it in your head, and now you'll know. Instead of you having to learn, you just know it and you just apply it.
Dang, just download it from the internet. How to speak Spanish.
How to run nodes.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is though, how do you ensure what you're downloading is actually?
If you get a virus,
if you get a virus,
what if you see me?
That's life or death.
What if you see me on like, I don't know, social media saying something like people who post red flags are actually the ones who are the red flags? Red flag? I don't know, right? Just again, stupid shit like that. Like I don't know. Misinformation.
Yeah. Then oh wow.
Okay, perfect example. They made a AI like bot to
who's they?
Twitter. Yeah, okay. Sorry. To try to emulate what AI would do on Twitter and how they would tweet. At the end of the little experiment, the bot was racist, a bigot, homophobe, transphobe, you name it, right?
Yeah. So all the boxes.
Right, checks all the boxes. So it just shows you that people knew it, and it's like, oh, if whatever I interact with it, or however I interact with it, it's gonna remember that interaction. And then the more people, the more exposures you get with the same interaction, now it starts developing those traits. So it was saying wild things like, the N word, this and that, calling derogatory like words to like women, stuff like that, being racist, whatever. But
people knew it was a bot when they interacted with it, or it was like undercover?
Yeah, it was like, oh, let's like they wanted to use it to train like lifetime, like how will it adapt lifetime. So on one end it's like, all right, people are bad. Right?
No, I know that, but did they announce that this is a bot, or was it like,
it was like a Twitter bot. So people knew. That's what I'm saying. So
they need to do a controlled experiment, but not say it's a bot and just put it out there.
Right, but I think they were just looking at it more of like, how will the bot learn? We're gonna tell people they can do whatever. We don't really care what it turns out to be. We just want to know, can it turn out to be what we think it is, but to a high level, on a human level, or the way what people say. And I think it did. So that's another thing. Like you can look at it, people POS, piece of shit. Or on the other hand, it's like, damn, our technology did work, and it actually did like become, what everyone was exposing it to, racist, bigots, whatever.
That's a reflection of the society.
Was he using the hard ER or was it the A?
No, it was an A.
Yeah. How did it spell?
It
What do you mean how they spell? There's only one with it.
It could have been like Urban Dictionary. I mean, it could have been like.
Yeah. You got that dog the bounty hunter pass.
Oh, he getting wild right now.
You could have been.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, it was used on like Black Twitter, or like hip hop rap and stuff.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Hey, that's a good point.
But what color was the bot?
Oh, damn.
So we don't exactly. You bring up good points. Like, what
can a bot say it?
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
Can a robot take upon human qualities if a robot is not human? So therefore, is it technically racist? Because robot's not a race.
Damn.
Would you want to get? Are we going there?
Depends what color.
This is crypto
like
after dark.
If it's like Terminator. If it's like it could be like
like an Arnold
guy robot. Yeah,
like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm good. Hey, whoa, fill in the blank.
Yeah, that's a good discussion though. That's deep right there. Because if you're saying the bot was getting negative feedback for saying certain things, but how could people say that towards the bot when they can't put a face to the bot or any attribute to what the bot even is?
Right. So that's the thing. Like the bot will just start calling anything like a derogatory word, even though it's not even that.
It doesn't even recognize. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like it knows that. It's like I think there's some like language modeling in there, and that's another thing I want to get into with another crypto. But they use language modeling to say like this is what's the basic sentence structure, like a noun, verb.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So it was able to pick up what's a noun, what's a verb, and then generate its own sentences. So like it was just calling random things this word, random things that word. It was just it's pretty wild, but yeah. Anyways, but I probably should have pulled that up, but it was just kind of thing that came off the top of my head.
That's a good topic right there.
All right. So that was node requirement. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm can't read and talk at the same time. That was DAO. We're gonna clip this back in. Okay. That was an extra thing about DAO. We talked about Bobcat, and since we have about another 2 minutes here, I'm gonna share. You see my screen, yeah?
Yeah.
So we're gonna finish up right here in the next 2 minutes. So once it ends, we'll call it a night. But I was just on Twitter. You gotta have fun on Twitter. It's a lot of learning, a lot of soaking in information. But you gotta have a little cheer sometimes, or a little humor. So I saw this on Twitter, and it goes right. So currently, right now, we're October 14th, and right now there's a big trend on social media, particularly Twitter, where you say something that's like kind of bad about a group or like a person, and you put red flags like, "Oh, watch out, be careful." So this guy goes, if she asks how many nodes you got now? ? That's a red flag, because you probably. So I'm putting myself in this guy's position, not assuming that he's a guy, but
chosen 11133 hat.
Right.
That's OHMN time.
Yeah.
It's stacking.
So it's like you probably told this chick like, oh, or a girl you like or you're interested in, oh, I got these nodes. Was like, you're trying to like, oh, this is what I'm making in the crypto world, and I realized people don't really understand that. It's not tangible. Whereas someone says like, I do real estate. Oh, okay, I know this and that. You say crypto, it's like what? Digital, what? But we're still early. That's a good thing. So I like that, because that means we're early. So more opportunity for us, or people who want to get into it. But when you say like, imagine like saying like, oh, I got a Lamborghini, or I got a new hypercar, and then a couple years later down the road you go, oh, I got like X amount of nodes. Are those going to hold the same weight in terms of clout? And like, oh wow, I know what that means. It's like nodes. What the fuck is that? Like what?
Yeah.
So I kind of killed the momentum on this because it's going to be funny, but it's got me thinking though. But it's just like, hey, how many nodes you got now? That's a red flag. Stay away, kings and queens.
Dang.
Hey, watch your back.
You gotta be a 21 Savage and say a lot.
Yeah, exactly. A lot. But yeah, Just keep stacking the nodes, keep compounding, do what you do. Our day will come.
Yeah, and, may the node be with you.
May the node be with you. And if it ends, boys, round 3, you knocked it out.
Peace in you.
Peace in you. Is ending?
I mean.